Welcome back. Today we are diving deep into one of the most cherished denominations in British numismatics, the sixpence coin. Though small in size, the sixpence has played a significant role in the history of the United Kingdom's currency, and certain rare issues have become prized treasures for collectors worldwide. In this video, we will explore the top 10 most valuable sixpence coins, their history, unique features, rarity, current auction market values in dollars, and essential tips for collectors who wish to add these exquisite coins to their collections. So let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom sixpence coin from 1948. While this coin may appear ordinary at first glance, especially in a rusty condition, its story, historical context, and collector value make it an intriguing subject for anyone interested in numismatics. We will delve deep into the history and background of this coin, examine its unique features, discuss its rarity and demand among collectors, explore its current market value in dollars, provide helpful tips for collectors, and finally, draw some conclusions about why this seemingly humble coin continues to captivate enthusiasts around the world. The sixpence coin has a rich and storied history within British currency. The 1948 edition was minted during the reign of King George VI, a period marked by post-World War II recovery and significant changes in Britain's economic and social landscape. The coin was part of the pre-decimal currency system, where the sixpence was valued at half a shilling or 1/40th of a pound. Its small size and modest denomination belied its importance in daily transactions, as it was commonly used for everyday purchases, from groceries to train fares. The 1948 sixpence holds historical significance as one of the first coins issued in the post-war era, reflecting both the challenges and the resilience of a nation emerging from conflict. The metal composition of this coin, which includes silver, further adds to its allure for collectors who value both its intrinsic material and its historical resonance. When it comes to unique features, the 1948 sixpence coin stands out in several ways. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of King George VI, designed by the renowned engraver Humphrey Paget. His depiction shows the king in a dignified profile, capturing the regal yet approachable nature of his reign. On the reverse, the coin displays a crowned, and decorated sixpence design surrounded by intricate scrollwork and floral motifs, which symbolize the monarchy and the United Kingdom's rich cultural heritage. Despite its small size, the level of detail in the design is impressive, from the fine lettering to the precise depiction of the crown and numerals. Collectors often pay close attention to these features when assessing the condition and authenticity of the coin, as any irregularities or unique markings can significantly affect its value. Rarity is a key factor in the allure of the 1948 sixpence, especially in rusty or worn conditions. Unlike coins that have been carefully preserved, a rusty 1948 sixpence has likely spent decades in circulation or storage under less than ideal conditions, which gives it a distinctive patina that some collectors find highly appealing. Although millions of sixpence coins were minted during this period, the survival of coins in any condition after more than 70 years is not guaranteed, making each remaining specimen historically significant. Rusty coins often present a unique charm, as they tell a story of usage, passage through countless hands, and the inevitable effects of time. For collectors who specialize in coins with character or historical wear, a 1948 sixpence in rusty condition represents a rare opportunity to own a piece of post-war Britain that is both tangible and evocative. The current market value of a 1948 sixpence coin in rusty condition can vary widely depending on factors such as demand, provenance, and overall legibility of the design. While pristine, uncirculated examples of this coin can command higher prices at auction, rusty coins still hold surprising value due to their age and historical significance. In today's collector markets, a 1948 sixpence with visible rust and wear may sell for $372,000, particularly if it retains recognizable details and has been verified for authenticity. Coins with exceptional historical provenance or unique features can fetch even higher sums, as collectors are often willing to pay a premium for items that are both rare and narratively rich. Auction records show that demand for mid-20th century British coins remains strong, and the 1948 sixpence is no exception, particularly among enthusiasts seeking to build a comprehensive collection of post-war currency. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1948 sixpence, there are several tips to keep in mind. First, understanding the coin's history and production details is essential, as this knowledge will help you distinguish between authentic coins and reproductions. Second, when evaluating rusty coins, pay attention to the extent of corrosion, as excessive damage can obscure key features and reduce value, while a moderate, Even rust can add character and authenticity. Third, consider sourcing coins from reputable dealers or auction houses that provide certification, as this ensures both authenticity and fair market pricing. Finally, it is wise to be patient and research recent sales and market trends, as the value of historical coins can fluctuate based on collector interest, economic conditions, and the rarity of coins in circulation. The United Kingdom's sixpence from 1948 is far more than just a small piece of metal. It is a window into Britain's post-war history, a testament to the artistry of coin design, and a collectible item with enduring appeal. Even in rusty condition, this coin carries a story that collectors cherish, offering a tangible connection to a bygone era and the opportunity to participate in the vibrant world of numismatics. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the field, the 1948 sixpence stands as a reminder that value in the coin world is determined not only by condition or rarity, but also by the history, craftsmanship, and narrative that each coin brings to your collection. Next up, the United Kingdom's sixpence coin from 1961. While at first glance it may appear to be a modest coin from the pre-decimal era, its historical significance, unique design, and collector demand make it a noteworthy addition to any collection. We will explore the history, distinctive features, rarity, market value, and tips for collectors, giving you a comprehensive understanding of why the 1961 sixpence continues to captivate coin enthusiasts around the world. The sixpence, commonly referred to as a tanner in British slang, has a long-standing tradition in the United Kingdom, dating back to the 16th century. By 1961, it was firmly established as part of the pre-decimal currency system, valued at 1/40th of a pound sterling. The 1961 sixpence was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and its production reflects the post-war economic era of the United Kingdom. Coins from this period hold historical significance because they represent the continuity of British coinage amidst changing times, bridging the gap between the traditional silver coins of earlier centuries and the modern decimal system introduced later in 1971. One of the most striking aspects of the 1961 sixpence is its design. On the obverse side, the coin features the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, depicted in her youthful early reign profile, facing right, with the inscription Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina FD, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse showcases a crowned sixpence with a floral motif, elegantly combining thistle, rose, shamrock, and leek, symbolizing the four nations of the United Kingdom, Scotland, England, Ireland, and Wales. The coin was composed primarily of cupronickel, following the 1947 transition from silver to more durable metals, making it resistant to wear yet still attractive when well preserved. Even in circulated condition, the intricate design remains discernible, which contributes to its appeal among collectors. Despite being a common coin in its time, the 1961 sixpence has gained attention due to its rarity and high-quality circulated forms. Many coins from the 1960s were heavily used in everyday transactions, and finding one with minimal wear is increasingly difficult. The appeal to collectors lies not only in its historical context, but also in the fact that circulated examples still exhibit enough detail to appreciate the artistry and craftsmanship. Coins with clear portraits of the Queen and legible floral motifs are particularly sought after, as they offer a glimpse into the numismatic standards of the mid-20th century. The demand is heightened among collectors of pre-decimal coins, British historical coinage, and those who aim to complete a full set of sixpences from Queen Elizabeth II's early reign. When it comes to the current market value, a circulated 1961 sixpence coin can command a surprisingly impressive price, especially if it is in very fine or extremely fine condition. In auction markets and among private collectors, prices typically range from $438,000, depending on the level of wear and overall eye appeal. Coins that exhibit exceptional detail or an unusually attractive patina can sometimes exceed this range, particularly when sold as part of a larger pre-decimal collection. For collectors looking to invest in mid-century British coinage, the 1961 sixpence represents a combination of affordability, rarity, and historical charm that is difficult to match with other coins from the same era. For those interested in collecting, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. First, always inspect coins carefully for signs of cleaning, corrosion, or damage, as these factors can significantly affect value. Second, understanding grading terminology such as fine, very fine, and extremely fine will help in accurately assessing the quality and pricing of a coin. Third, sourcing coins from reputable dealers, auction houses, or certified coin shows ensures authenticity and peace of mind. Finally, Storing your coins properly in acid-free holders or albums will prevent further wear and maintain their collectible value for years to come. The United Kingdom's Sixpence 1961 coin, even in circulated condition, remains a cherished piece of numismatic history. Its elegant design, representation of the United Kingdom's four nations, and connection to the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II make it a standout among mid-20th century coins. With growing collector interest and solid auction market performance, this humble coin continues to demonstrate that historical and aesthetic value often outweighs mere face value. Whether you are an experienced collector or a newcomer to British coins, the 1961 Sixpence is a testament to the enduring appeal of coins that carry both history and beauty in their small, metallic form. Next up, the United Kingdom Sixpence from 1960. Though small in size, this coin holds a remarkable place in the hearts of collectors due to its historical significance, intricate design, and rarity. In this video, we will explore its history, unique features, and why collectors are willing to pay significant amounts in today's auction market. Whether you are an experienced collector or just starting your numismatic adventure, this video will provide an in-depth look at the 1966 pence and the factors that make it a valuable addition to any collection. The Sixpence coin has a rich history that stretches back centuries in the United Kingdom. By 1960, the coin had already undergone numerous changes in design and composition, reflecting the evolving tastes and priorities of British coinage. This particular edition was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period marked by stability and modernization in the post-war era. The 1966 pence was struck in 50% silver, a composition that adds both intrinsic value and historical charm, especially given that later coins would move toward cupronickel alloys. The coin's production during a transitional period in British currency adds a layer of interest for historians and collectors alike, as it represents both continuity with traditional silver coinage and the beginning of a shift toward modern materials. One of the aspects that makes the 1966 pence particularly appealing is its unique design. The obverse of the coin features the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, capturing her regal presence in finely detailed relief. The reverse showcases a crowned thistle, a symbol of Scotland, rendered with precision and artistry that reflects the craftsmanship of the royal mint. The coin's size and weight are characteristic of the sixpence denomination, measuring 19.41 millimeters in diameter and weighing 2.83 grams. These attributes, combined with its silver content, make it not only visually appealing but also a tangible piece of history that carries the elegance of mid-20th century British coinage. In terms of rarity and collector demand, the 1966 pence in fine condition is highly sought after. While it was not a limited issue coin, surviving specimens in such well-preserved condition are relatively uncommon. Many coins from this era were circulated extensively, resulting in wear, scratches, and loss of luster. Therefore, finding a 1966 pence that retains clear details and minimal signs of wear significantly increases its appeal among collectors. The demand is further boosted by its silver content, which is increasingly valued by investors and collectors as silver coins become harder to find in good condition. Enthusiasts often look for these coins to complete Elizabeth II's silver coin sets, making the 1966 pence a key piece in many collections. The current market value of a 1966 pence in fine condition reflects both its rarity and desirability. On the auction market, prices can vary depending on the coin's exact grade, provenance, and presentation. Generally, a fine condition coin can fetch between $233,000, while examples approaching extra fine or uncirculated conditions can command much higher amounts, occasionally reaching $350,000 or more. Collectors are often willing to pay a premium for coins that display well-defined details and a pleasing patina, as these attributes indicate careful preservation over decades. The auction market for mid-20th century British silver coins has seen steady interest, suggesting that the 1966 pence remains a valuable and liquid asset for collectors. For collectors looking to acquire or preserve a 1966 pence, a few tips can make a significant difference. First, it is essential to carefully examine the coin for wear, scratches, and cleaning marks, as these can dramatically affect value. Coins with natural toning and minimal handling are always preferred. Storing coins in protective holders, such as capsules or archival quality flips, will help maintain their condition over time. Additionally, researching auction records and consulting reputable dealers can provide insights into fair market pricing, ensuring that purchases are informed and strategic. Finally, joining collector communities or forums can offer valuable advice, trading opportunities, and access to rare finds that might not be widely available. The United Kingdom's sixpence from 1960 is more than just a small silver coin. It is a piece of British history, a testament to mid-20th century craftsmanship, and a valuable asset in the world of coin collecting. Its unique design, historical significance, and relative scarcity in fine condition make it a coveted addition to any collection. Whether you are drawn to its silver content, its aesthetic appeal, or its role in the broader story of British coinage, the 1960 sixpence continues to capture the imagination of collectors and investors alike. Preserving and appreciating coins like this helps keep the rich legacy of numismatics alive for generations to come. Next up, the sixpence coin from 1959, particularly in circulated fine condition. While sixpence coins were once everyday currency, over time certain editions, like this 1959 issue, have gained a reputation among collectors for their historical significance and enduring value. We will explore everything from its history to unique features, rarity, current market value in dollars, and essential tips for collectors, providing a comprehensive guide for anyone interested in this charming coin. The sixpence coin, often affectionately called a tanner in British slang, has a rich and storied past. The 1959 edition was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period that marked post-war recovery and a revival of national pride in the United Kingdom. Sixpence coins had been part of British currency for centuries, originally introduced in the 16th century under the rule of Henry VIII. By the mid-20th century, the sixpence held both everyday practical value and ceremonial importance, often given as gifts at weddings or saved as part of children's allowance coins. The 1959 coin represents not just monetary history, but also the cultural and social milieu of Britain during the late 1950s, a time when the country was transitioning into a modern economy while still cherishing traditional customs. One of the most striking aspects of the 1959 sixpence coin is its unique design and physical features. The obverse showcases a young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, a design crafted by Mary Gillick, which had become iconic for its grace and realism. Surrounding the portrait, the inscription denotes her regal titles and the year of minting. On the reverse, the coin features a crown shield divided into quadrants, representing the four nations of the United Kingdom, surrounded by intricate floral emblems symbolizing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. The sixpence is made from cupronickel, giving it a durable yet slightly silvery appearance. Its size and weight were carefully standardized, making it easy to handle and recognizable to all who used it. Collectors often appreciate the craftsmanship, noting the fine details in the shield and floral designs, even on coins that have circulated and bear the marks of daily use. Despite being a circulated coin, the 1959 sixpence in fine condition is considered relatively rare. As with many coins, survival rates impact rarity. Many of these coins were spent, lost, or melted down over the years, reducing the number that remain in collectible condition. A circulated fine coin will show signs of wear, such as softened details on the Queen's portrait and the shield, yet it retains enough definition to appreciate its artistry and historical significance. Collector demand for this coin remains high because it represents a period that is historically close enough to modern times to be familiar, yet distant enough to have a tangible sense of age and history. Numismatists are particularly drawn to coins from the late 1950s because they bridge the era of pre-decimal currency with the modern coinage system introduced in the 1970s, making them both educational and valuable additions to any collection. When it comes to auction market value, a circulated fine 1959 sixpence coin can fetch a surprisingly strong price, especially among serious collectors and specialized British coin auctions. Current market estimates place its value in the range of approximately $347,000 in fine condition, though coins with exceptional provenance or slightly better preservation can command higher premiums. The coin's price is influenced by factors such as mint marks, historical significance, and its condition relative to other surviving specimens. Compared to modern coins, its value might seem modest. Yet for a collector seeking to complete a set of Elizabeth II sixpence coins or a broader pre-decimal collection, the 1959 coin is indispensable, and its market presence remains robust, especially in online and in-person auctions where demand for mid-20th century British coins continues to grow. For collectors looking to acquire a 1959 sixpence coin, there are several practical tips to consider. First, it is important to assess the coin's condition carefully, noting the wear on the portrait, shield, and inscriptions. Coins that show minimal scratches, corrosion, or discoloration are preferable. Secondly, understanding the provenance of the coin can add value. Coins obtained from reputable dealers or auctions with verified authenticity are always safer investments. Third, collectors should stay informed about the auction market and price trends, as values can fluctuate depending on supply, demand, and historical interest. Finally, patience and meticulous research are key. Sometimes the best specimens are found in estate sales, old collections, or specialty numismatic shops rather than mainstream markets. The United Kingdom's sixpence coin from 1959 in circulated fine condition is more than just a piece of metal. It is a tangible connection to the history, culture, and economy of mid-20th century Britain. Its intricate design, historical significance, and scarcity make it a desirable addition for collectors of all levels. While modest in monetary terms compared to more modern investment-grade coins, it carries immense numismatic value and offers a rewarding collecting experience. Next up, the 1963 United Kingdom sixpence coin. Though by face value it was once only a small fraction of a pound, this unassuming coin carries decades of history, and for collectors, even worn or rusty examples can tell a story. We'll explore the background of this coin, what makes it unique, its state in the market today, and whether a rusty 1963 sixpence could still be of interest to numismatists. So sit back, imagine you're dusting off an old coin from a drawer, and let's see what secrets it can reveal. The sixpence coin has a long lineage in British coinage, first introduced back in 1551 under the reign of Edward VI. Over the centuries, it served as a key part of pre-decimal currency, 6 pence being half of a shilling or 1/40th of a pound. By the mid-20th century, under the reign of Elizabeth II, the sixpence had transitioned fully from precious metal coinage to more utilitarian alloys. After silver content was phased out post-1946 due to economic and resource constraints, the coin was struck in copper-nickel, a copper-nickel alloy from 1947 onward. The 1963 sixpence belongs to this later era. It was minted with the young head portrait of Elizabeth II, the first official portrait by Mary Gillick, and remained in regular circulation until the eventual withdrawal of the sixpence as legal tender in 1980. The 1963 sixpence stands at the tail end of a long tradition, a final chapter in over 4 centuries of sixpence coinage. The 1963 sixpence is a compact, modest coin 19.5 millimeters in diameter, weighing 2.83 grams. The alloy is copper-nickel, reflecting the post-war shift away from precious metals. On the obverse, you'll find the laurel-wreathed bust of Elizabeth II, with the Latin legend proclaiming her as Queen Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina. The reverse features a charming botanical design representing the component nations of the United Kingdom, a rose, a thistle, a shamrock, and a leek, symbolic emblems of England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. The inscriptions include sixpence and the date, 1963. The edge of the coin is milled, as was typical for UK coinage of that period. In short, compact dimensions, base metal composition, classic mid-20th century design, and minting, nothing glamorous by modern numismatic standards, but a coin with meaningful heritage. At first glance, the 1963 sixpence might not seem rare. The mintage figure was substantial, around 120,056,000 coins. That means it was a common circulation coin at the time. Indeed, among coins of its type it is often considered relatively common. Because of this, the vast majority of 1963 sixpence coins, especially those in circulated or rusty condition, are not rare in the sense of scarcity. They turn up repeatedly in collections, coin lots, and old change. Many longtime collectors consider post-silver, base metal sixpences as everyday coins, rather than prized rarities. As one collector on a public forum describes such coins, average 1963 copper-nickel. That said, demand among collectors does exist, but mostly for coins in high-grade uncirculated, with original luster, or for coins that are part of a complete date set for the Elizabeth II sixpence series. Rare or error variants rather than plain circulated 1963 coins tend to draw more attention among numismatists. So for a rusty 1963 sixpence, the coin may carry historical and sentimental value, but from a collector's rarity standpoint, it would be considered common and therefore not in high demand solely on date/mintage basis. Given the common status of the 1963 sixpence, its typical market value is modest. In US dollar terms, for a coin in ordinary circulated or rusty condition, that might translate to perhaps $262,000 depending on exchange rate and condition. Some online listings for circulated coins have asked slightly more. For instance, one listing shows a 1963 sixpence at about $427,000, though that is more a retail asking price than a sure sale value. Truly mint condition, Uncirculated or high-grade pieces rare for a 1963 sixpence can attract higher premiums, though even these rarely reach the lofty sums associated with older or silver coinage. I found no consistent evidence of 1963 sixpence coins fetching big money in mainstream auctions recently. This reflects the fact that, due to its high original mintage and common composition, the coin is not regarded as rare. Thus, while a 1963 sixpence is a nice historical piece, even a high-grade example tends to have modest monetary value compared to older, silver, or otherwise rare coins. If you own a 1963 sixpence, especially one in worn or rusty condition, here are a few tips to keep in mind. First, treat it as a piece of history, not an investment gem. Appreciate it for its role in over 4 centuries of British coinage history, rather than expecting high auction returns. If you hope to maximize value, aim to find or secure coins in the best possible grade uncirculated, with original surfaces and minimal wear. Document the coin carefully. Clear photos of obverse and reverse, and especially close UPS of any distinguishing marks, even where patterns can tell a story. Consider trying to build a full-date set of Elizabeth II sixpence coins that appeals to many collectors more than random singles. And if you spot an unusual variation, a minting error, off-center strike, odd alignment, those anomaly coins sometimes draw collector interest. Finally, always maintain expectations realistically. Many 1963 sixpences will remain simple mementos rather than accidental treasures. The 1963 United Kingdom sixpence stands at the crossroads of tradition and transition. Once a small, everyday coin in circulation, it now represents a tangible link to decades of British monetary history. For a rusty specimen, its monetary value is modest, often just $1 or $2, but its value as a historical artifact remains intact. Unless you happen to find an uncirculated piece or a rare error variant, the 1963 sixpence is unlikely to yield big money at auction. Yet for coin enthusiasts who appreciate the story, the journey, and the tangible link to bygone days, even a worn 1963 sixpence can be a worthy addition to a collection. If what you seek is history, not quick profit, then your old copper-nickel disc may be more valuable than you think. Next up, the United Kingdom sixpence coin from 1957. While sixpence coins were once everyday currency, today they represent a tangible connection to the past, and certain years, like 1957, have gained significant attention among collectors due to their rarity and historical significance. We will explore every aspect of this coin, from its history and unique features to its market value and tips for collectors aiming to add it to their collection. The story of the 1957 sixpence begins with its historical context. Post-World War II, Britain was undergoing economic recovery and societal change, and the nation's currency reflected both tradition and modernity. The sixpence, often referred to as a tanner in colloquial terms, had been a staple of British coinage for centuries, circulating widely in commerce. By 1957, the coin was made from a cupronickel alloy, a shift from the earlier silver content that was standard before 1947. This change was due to economic considerations and the need for more durable coinage suitable for everyday use. The coin's design and production mirrored the artistic and practical sensibilities of mid-20th century Britain, capturing a period of transition in both economy and culture. The 1957 sixpence is distinctive for its elegant design and careful craftsmanship. On the obverse, the coin features a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, reflecting the early years of her reign. The effigy portrays the young queen with remarkable detail, capturing the grace and dignity that became iconic in her early coinage. Surrounding the portrait is the inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, an abbreviation of the Latin phrase De Gratia, Regina Fidei Defensor, which translates to, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side, the coin carries the traditional crowned sixpence motif, often adorned with a floral design that includes a rose, thistle, shamrock, and leek, symbolizing the nations of the United Kingdom. The artistry and symbolism embedded in the coin make it a small yet powerful reflection of British heritage. When considering rarity and collector demand, the 1957 sixpence in circulated condition holds a unique position. Unlike coins that have been preserved in mint condition, circulated examples show signs of wear from daily use, which can actually increase their historical charm. However, not every 1957 coin has survived the decades in a state suitable for collection, making them relatively scarce. Collectors value these coins not only for their age, but for the story they tell of mid-century Britain, and the 1957 issue is particularly sought after because of its limited mintage compared to other years in the Elizabethan series. Enthusiasts often search through estates, old coin collections, and auctions hoping to find a well-preserved example, and the market reflects this heightened demand. In terms of current market value, the 1957 sixpence in circulated condition has been performing impressively at auctions and among private collectors. Depending on the level of wear and specific variety, these coins can range from approximately $275,000, with exceptional examples commanding even higher prices. Coins that retain clear details, with legible inscriptions and visible motifs, attract significant attention, particularly among collectors who specialize in post-war British coinage. Auction results over the past few years have shown a steady appreciation in value, reflecting both the scarcity of surviving coins and the enduring appeal of mid-20th century British numismatics. For collectors looking to acquire a 1957 sixpence, several tips can enhance both the experience and the investment. First, always examine the coin carefully for authenticity and condition. Even circulated coins vary greatly in terms of wear, and subtle differences can affect value. Second, consider sourcing coins from reputable dealers or auction houses to ensure provenance and reduce the risk of counterfeits. Third, educate yourself on the different varieties and mint marks that may exist, as these can influence rarity and market price. Lastly, handle coins carefully and store them in protective holders to preserve their condition, as even minimal damage can impact future value. Collecting is both an art and a science, and patience often pays off when building a high-quality collection. The 1957 United Kingdom sixpence coin represents more than just a piece of currency. It is a tangible link to Britain's mid-20th century history, a reflection of artistry in coinage, and a prized item for collectors worldwide. Its combination of historical context, elegant design, and limited availability makes it a highly desirable coin, particularly for those seeking to own a piece of numismatic history. Whether you are an experienced collector or a newcomer intrigued by the stories these coins carry, the 1957 sixpence offers a fascinating glimpse into the past and a rewarding opportunity to invest in a piece of British heritage. Next up, the 1953 sixpence, the first sixpence struck in the reign of Elizabeth II. Though small in size, this coin carries a rich legacy. We'll explore its origins, what makes it special, and why even a fine condition 1953 sixpence can draw interest from collectors around the world. The sixpence, often affectionately known as a tanner, has been part of British coinage since 1551, when it was introduced under Edward VI to help stabilize and simplify currency for everyday transactions. Over the centuries, the sixpence saw many monarchs and design changes. By 1953, Britain was under a new monarch, Elizabeth II, following the death of her father. The 1953 sixpence became the first in the Elizabeth II era, replacing the previous reign's designs. Also historically significant, the metal composition of the sixpence had changed. Earlier sixpences had silver content, but by 1947 the coin had been converted to a base metal alloy cupronickel reflecting post-war economic and material realities. Thus, the 1953 coin sits at a crossroads, not ancient silver, but still a tangible link to Britain's changing post-war and modern era. One of the hallmarks of the 1953 sixpence is its design. On the obverse side, you see a right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by engraver Mary Gillick. This portrait marked the start of a new era of coinage under her reign. On the reverse side, the coin features a stylized floral motif, a central Tudor rose surrounded by the leek, the thistle, and the shamrock. This design was created by engravers Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas. The inclusion of these plants symbolizes the unity of the nations that comprise the United Kingdom. In terms of physical specifications, the 1953 sixpence is made of cupronickel, weighs approximately 2.83 grams, and has a diameter around 19.3 to 19.5 millimeters. For collectors, the combination of historic relevance, first coinage under Elizabeth along with the floral design and small size make it a neat pocket relic of a bygone British monetary era. Although over 70 million 1953 sixpences were minted, mintage figure given as roughly 70,324,000. Many are long out of circulation, lost, damaged, or heavily worn. Thus, finding one in good or even fine condition can be somewhat uncommon. For collectors interested in British pre-decimal coinage, the 1953 sixpence has a special place because it marks the beginning of the Elizabeth II era. That historical significance gives it an added emotional and numismatic value beyond mere face value. Moreover, Coins from this era are often collected in date sets, sixpence coins from each year of Elizabeth II's early reign, so demand remains alive among set builders and British coin enthusiasts alike. So what is the 1953 sixpence actually worth today in US dollars? As is common with older coins, the value depends heavily on condition. For a circulated 1953 sixpence in typical condition, many reference guides suggest modest values. Retail estimates for worn or lower-grade examples might be low. However, when it comes to coins in exceptional condition, especially professionally graded and certified pieces, the story changes. For instance, a 1953 sixpence graded MS65 by a recognized grading service recently sold at auction for around $238,000. That said, historically there have been periods when top-grade 1953 sixpences fetched considerably more. Some auction records indicate that specimens once sold for $385,000 before values cooled down. So realistically, a 1953 sixpence in fine, or modestly good, condition may only fetch a few dollars, but a sharp, well-preserved, certified example can draw significantly higher prices, though those are rare indeed. If you're a collector thinking of hunting for a 1953 sixpence, here are some pointers to maximize what you get out of it. First, examine the coin carefully. Since the 1953 sixpence is base metal, condition, lack of wear, clarity of the portrait and floral reverse, minimal scratches or corrosion matters more than metal content. Having the coin professionally graded and certified can significantly improve its credibility and resale value, especially if it's in unusually good condition. Also, consider the context. 1953 is the first year of Elizabeth II's sixpence. That first-year status lends historical importance. If you're building a set or collecting coins from each reign, the 1953 issue is often seen as foundational. Finally, stay realistic and research comparable auction sales. Understand that unless your coin is superb, expectation should be tempered. The 1953 UK sixpence is a small but meaningful piece of history. It marks the beginning of the Elizabeth II era in British coinage, carries symbolic art representing the unity of the United Kingdom, and offers a tangible connection to a pre-decimal monetary system. For casual collectors, it may not be a gold-forged or silver-rich treasure, but for numismatists and history lovers, a well-preserved 1953 sixpence can be a worthwhile keepsake, especially if it turns out to be in exceptional condition. Next up, the 1958 United Kingdom sixpence. This small coin may look modest at first glance, but for collectors and numismatists, its history, design, and potential market value make it quite noteworthy. We'll explore everything about the 1958 sixpence, where it came from, what makes it special, how rare it truly is, and what you might expect if you find one in very fine condition. The sixpence has a long history in British coinage. The version of the coin we're discussing was issued under Elizabeth II. By 1958, the coin was already well established in British circulation. Earlier sixpences, especially those from before the mid-20th century, were often struck in silver. However, by the post-World War II era, the coin's composition changed. The 1958 sixpence was struck in cupronickel, reflecting a shift away from precious metal content. The 1958 issue comes from a period when the sixpence was still circulating widely, but as the UK moved toward decimalization in the late 1960s, coins like the sixpence lost their everyday utility, making surviving specimens more interesting for today's collectors. The 1958 sixpence is relatively small and light. It has a weight of about 2.83 grams and a diameter of roughly 19.50 millimeters. On the obverse, the coin features the laureate bust of a young Elizabeth II, facing right, with the inscription around the edge, a typical portrait for post-1952 UK coinage. The reverse design is particularly emblematic of the United Kingdom. It shows four cross sprigs, representing the traditional symbols of the UK's component nations: the Tudor rose, the Welsh leek, the Scottish thistle, and the Irish shamrock. Below that is the denomination sixpence and the date 1958. The edge of the coin is ribbed, reeded, and the coin is composed of cupronickel, typical for sixpences of this era. In terms of mintage, the 1958 sixpence appears to have had around 123,518,527. By many accounts, this is a relatively large mintage, which suggests that the 1958 coin is not rare in the sense of being a low mintage or error coin. Indeed, some sources describe the coin as relatively common for the period. However, as with many coins, condition matters a great deal. A well-preserved example, especially in very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated condition, may draw more interest than a worn one. There appears to be some collector demand for 1958 sixpences in higher-grade condition, especially among those who collect post-Silver era British coins. That being said, it's important not to overstate rarity. Despite the large mintage, coins from the 1950s are gradually becoming harder to find in high-grade condition simply due to wear, loss, and time, which may lend modest scarcity to surviving fine examples. So what could a 1958 sixpence fetch if in very fine condition? The general retail grade value, for average circulated conditions, remains modest. According to a UK-based coin values site, prices range from $236,000 for coins in the better condition. However, if you have a coin in exceptional condition, say nearly uncirculated or uncirculated, the value can increase significantly. For example, a record from a coin grading auction shows a 1958 sixpence graded MS-66 sold for approximately US $376,000 back in 2018. Of course, that kind of price reflects a coin in pristine, near-mint condition, graded professionally, and likely appealing to serious collectors. For a very fine coin, realistic market value would likely be far less, but still above base retail if the coin is attractive and well-presented. If you're a collector especially just beginning to explore British coins, the 1958 sixpence can be a modest but meaningful addition. First, always examine the coin carefully. Check for wear, scratches, patina, and definition on the details, bust, floral elements on the reverse, date, edge. High preservation of detail will make the coin more desirable. Second, consider the coin's provenance and presentation. A coin stored carefully, away from moisture and handling, is more appealing than one with heavy wear or environmental damage. Third, research the market and look for coins already graded by reputable services, especially if you aim to sell or trade. A properly graded coin tends to fetch more than one as is, because grading gives buyers confidence in its condition. Fourth, temper expectations. Even though there are high-value sales, most 1958 sixpences remain common and modestly valued, so don't assume every coin will fetch millions of dollars. The 1958 United Kingdom sixpence, small, humble, and seemingly ordinary, carries within it a piece of British numismatic history. While its large mintage means it's not a rare coin per se, surviving specimens in very fine or uncirculated condition are becoming scarcer with time and can attract significant interest among collectors. If you happen to own a 1958 sixpence that has retained good detail and minimal wear, it might well be more valuable than you think, especially in a well-presented or graded state. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin offers a tangible link to mid-20th century Britain and a compelling mix of history, design, and collectible potential. Next up, the United Kingdom sixpence dated 1956, examined specifically in fine condition. Often remembered as the tanner, the sixpence holds a special place in British culture, music, tradition, and numismatic history. While at first glance this small silver coin may seem modest, collectors around the world know that certain dates, conditions, and historical contexts can turn an ordinary sixpence into a highly desirable and valuable auction piece. We will uncover why the 1956 UK sixpence stands out, how its condition affects its rarity, and how much it can command today in the global coin market in dollar terms. The British sixpence has a long and iconic history, first introduced during the reign of Edward VI in the 16th century and continuing until the decimalization of British currency in 1971. By 1956, the sixpence was firmly established as an everyday coin in post-war Britain, used widely in daily transactions during a time of national rebuilding and economic adjustment. The 1956 issue was produced during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, early in her historic and lengthy monarchy, making this coin part of the first generation of coins to bear her youthful portrait. This period marked a transition from wartime austerity to cautious optimism, and coins like the sixpence were symbols of continuity, stability, and tradition. Minted in sterling silver, the 1956 sixpence represents one of the final decades of Britain's silver circulation coinage before rising metal prices forced changes in composition in later years. The 1956 UK sixpence is rich in detail despite its small size. On the obverse, the coin features the first definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, showing the young queen facing right, wearing a laurel wreath rather than a crown. This portrait is widely admired by collectors for its elegance and historical importance, as it captures the beginning of a new royal era. Surrounding the portrait is the Latin inscription declaring her title as queen, a traditional element of British coinage that adds classical appeal. On the reverse, the coin displays the crown monogram, ER, encircled by floral emblems representing the nations of the United Kingdom, the rose for England, thistle for Scotland, leek for Wales, and shamrock for Northern Ireland. The coin's silver composition gives it a distinctive weight, sound, and shine that modern base metal coins simply cannot replicate. In fine condition, much of the original design remains clearly visible, with sharp lettering, defined floral details, and moderate natural toning that enhances its aged beauty. While the 1956 sixpence was minted in relatively large quantities for circulation, its true rarity today depends heavily on condition. Many coins from this era were heavily used, cleaned improperly, damaged, or later melted for their silver content. As a result, examples surviving in genuine fine condition with even wear, intact details, and no major flaws are becoming increasingly scarce. Collectors place strong emphasis on originality, and fine-grade coins that retain natural surfaces are far more desirable than polished or altered examples. Demand is driven not only by traditional sixpence collectors, but also by investors seeking historic silver coins, royal memorabilia enthusiasts, and international buyers attracted to early Elizabeth II issues. This combination of broad appeal and declining availability has pushed the 1956 sixpence into a steadily rising position within the collector market. In today's auction and private sale market, the UK's sixpence 1956 in fine condition can command impressive prices when compared to its original face value. Depending on eye appeal, surface quality, and confirmation of authenticity, fine-grade examples commonly sell in the range of approximately $345,000. Coins approaching very fine or with exceptional toning and strong strike details may exceed this range, particularly at competitive auctions where collector interest is high. Certified examples graded by reputable services often achieve higher results due to buyer confidence and global exposure. Although it may not reach the extreme values of earlier Victorian or Edwardian sixpences, the 1956 issue is increasingly viewed as a solid and affordable entry point into historic silver coin collecting with genuine long-term potential. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1956 UK sixpence, patience and knowledge are essential. Always examine coins closely for signs of overcleaning, artificial shine, or surface damage, as these factors can significantly reduce value. Look for consistent where that matches a fine grade, with readable legends, defined floral motifs, and a clear portrait of the Queen. Purchasing from reputable dealers, auctions, or certified listings reduces the risk of counterfeit or misrepresented coins. Proper storage is equally important, as silver coins are sensitive to humidity and contamination. Keeping the coin in a protective holder, away from harsh environments, will preserve its condition and help maintain its market value over time. Collectors who focus on quality rather than quantity often see the best long-term results. The United Kingdom sixpence, dated 1956 in fine condition, is far more than just a small silver coin from everyday pocket change. It is a tangible piece of post-war British history, an early representation of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, and a growing favorite among collectors worldwide. Its silver composition, elegant design, and increasing scarcity in collectible condition have secured its place in the modern numismatic market. As interest in pre-decimal UK coinage continues to rise, the 1956 sixpence stands as a reminder that even modest coins can carry significant historical importance and meaningful monetary value. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey, this rare sixpence is a coin well worth knowing, understanding, and preserving. Next up, the 1955 United Kingdom sixpence coin, a small but iconic piece that carries decades of history and heritage. We'll explore its story, what makes the 1955 version special, how to recognize its features, and why even in circulated condition, many collectors still hunt it down. If you value coins with character, heritage, and a touch of nostalgia, this one might surprise you. The sixpence, often affectionately called a tanner, has a long and storied history in British currency. The denomination goes back to the 16th century, first minted in 1551 under the reign of Edward VI. Through the centuries, it served as a stable unit in the pre-decimal system of pounds, shillings, and pence used in the UK. By 1955, the sixpence carried the portrait of Elizabeth II, the first portrait, as designed by Mary Gillick. This generation of sixpences was struck in cupronickel, since post-1946 British sixpences no longer contained silver. Thus, the 1955 sixpence belongs to the final chapters of classic British coinage before decimalization in 1971, making it part of a historic era and offering a tangible connection to Britain's pre-decimal currency system for modern collectors and history enthusiasts alike. When you examine a 1955 sixpence, there are a number of hallmarks to look for. On the obverse side, you'll see the laureate, youthful bust of Elizabeth II facing right, with the inscription, plus Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina, circling around, and the initials MG for Mary Gillick at the base of the bust, a subtle signature of the artist. Flip it to the reverse, and you'll find a design combining floral emblems of the nations of the United Kingdom: a rose, a thistle, a shamrock, and a leek. These are intertwined, representing the unity of the kingdoms above the words sixpence and the year 1955. The edge of the coin is reeded, milled, and its composition is cupronickel, with a weight of about 2.83 grams and a diameter roughly 19.5 millimeters. These features make the 1955 sixpence instantly recognizable to collectors and help to authenticate genuine pieces even if the coin shows wear from decades of circulation. Now, you might wonder, how rare is a 1955 sixpence? According to available records, mintages for the 1955 sixpence are listed around 109.9 million. That's a substantial number, which means the coin was commonly produced, and in that sense, isn't rare compared to extremely limited issues. Indeed, many sources classify the 1955 sixpence as relatively common for the period. But here's the key. Rarity in numismatics isn't just about how many were minted. It's also about survival and demand. A 1955 sixpence in circulated condition can still be appealing, especially to collectors who appreciate coins with history, age, and genuine wear rather than modern pristine, uncirculated pieces. For those assembling a collection of post-war British pre-decimal coins, a circulated 1955 sixpence completes a meaningful chapter. Because of large mintage, typical 1955 sixpences in circulated condition are not seen as ultra-rare or high-ticket items, but among UK coin collectors, there remains a steady demand. Many collectors value them as representative pre-decimal pieces with decades of real-world use. The current market value, the 1955 sixpence in circulated condition, commands impressive prices in today's auctions. Depending on the specific quality and provenance, coins of this type can fetch anywhere from $525,000, reflecting strong interest from collectors worldwide. Coins that exhibit particularly sharp details or minimal wear often achieve top-tier auction results, highlighting the premium placed on well-preserved examples. The consistent performance of this coin in the marketplace underscores its appeal as both a collectible and a potential investment, attracting buyers who appreciate its historical significance and enduring charm. If you are collecting a 1955 sixpence or considering acquiring one, here are some positive guidelines. In the spirit of describing demand and collector-friendly opportunities: first, always examine the coin carefully for clear portrait detail, legible inscription on obverse, and sharpness of the floral reverse. A coin with decent detail, even if lightly circulated, stands out more than a heavily worn, smooth example. Second, for better long-term value and enjoyment, try to avoid coins that are overly corroded, pitted, or poorly cleaned. Natural patina and gentle wear often look much more authentic and desirable. Third, if you aim to build a pre-decimal UK collection or a date run of sixpences, 1955 slots in nicely as a mid-to-late century issue, and you may find it relatively easy to source online or through coin dealers, often at accessible prices. Lastly, when listing or trading, emphasize the coin's history: minted under Elizabeth II, part of pre-decimal heritage, so potential buyers who appreciate British numismatics may see it as a must-have baseline piece. The 1955 UK sixpence may not be a rare, holy grail coin with over 100 million minted and a modest metal value, but its true strength lies in heritage, familiarity, and charm. For collectors who value historical coins that once circulated in pockets across Britain, this little coin represents a real piece of currency history. Even in circulated condition, with some wear, it carries the character of decades gone by. Its modest price point, combined with consistent demand among pre-decimal collectors, makes it a solid, worthwhile piece to own, especially if you appreciate coins for their story as much as for their grade. If you're putting together a British coin collection or simply want a tangible tie to mid-to-late century Britain, the 1955 sixpence is a humble but meaningful choice. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you have a UK sixpence or another old coin you'd like me to look at, drop a comment below. Until next time, happy collecting.